still waiting. Our group. Mars Stitch. Going on down the line. Still going down the line. Still going down the line. Hey. Yeah.
Of Japan. Now, with those words that ushered the United States into World War II, why did the Japanese attack the United States? I'm going to try to answer that and some other questions in the next several minutes. Now, many historians believe that World War II began in 1939 when Germany invaded Poland. However, many historians do believe the beginnings of World War II actually started right here in the Pacific. In 1931, when the Japanese invaded northern China, Manchuria. Now, at that time, the two powers in the world were the United States and Great Britain. We did nothing to stop the Japanese aggression in northern China. Since nobody was stopping the Japanese, they decided to continue their aggression and expansion throughout China and several other countries throughout Asia. Now, little by little, the Chinese government started to give different areas of China along the southern coast to different countries. And these countries actually helped China develop those areas. They were called spheres of influence. For example, Hong Kong was mainly under the control of Great Britain. Shanghai. The United States had many interests in Shanghai, including Texaco Oil Company. In 1937, this is when the United States became very angry with the Japanese. You see, in 1937, the Japanese invaded the southern coast of China, and they invaded Shanghai. The United States gave the Japanese an ultimatum. We told them, you either move out of that area, or we will do one and possibly all of the following. Number one, we will stop selling you oil. Now, back then, the Japanese were dependent on the United States for over 80% of their oil. We threatened to cut that off if they did not pull out of China. Number two, we told them we would freeze their assets and stop exports to their country. And then number three, if worse comes to worse, we told them we would declare war. No, we did not declare war, but we did stop selling them oil. We did freeze their assets in the United States, and we did stop exports to their country. This, of course, now made the Japanese very angry with the United States. And those are actually a few of several reasons why they decided to attack. Because of the embargo and sanctions we placed on them, because they would not stop their aggression and expansion throughout China and several other countries throughout Asia. In the morning hours of December 7th, 1941, sitting off the north shore of this island, 230 miles to the right offshore, were 33 Japanese warships, simply waiting for the word to begin the attack. At 6 a.m., the first of two, a matter of 9 minutes, on board the USS Arizona, the United States of America lost 1,177 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24-year-old young men. And again, we were at peace with that nation. The first attack lasted about 30 minutes, and then they left. After a 20-minute lull, the second attack began. Now this time, the second attack took care of the middle of the island and the area behind us, flying in over Diamond Head, Waikiki, Honolulu, going in the same direction we are now traveling. Second attack had 167 airplanes. Second attack lasted about 25 minutes, and then they left. from the beginning of the first attack to the ending of the second attack, in a little under 2 hours, the United States of America lost 2,403 that morning, well over 1,000 more severely injured. The next day is when the United States legally declared war on Japan. By the time the U.S. declared war on Japan, the Japanese had aligned themselves with Hitler and Mussolini. So the United States of America was now fighting two, not one, but two full-time wars at the same time, fighting wars in Europe and fighting wars in the Pacific. Here in the Pacific for the next 3.5 years, the United States literally island hopped from one South Pacific island nation to the next, slowly but surely getting closer and closer to Japan. By the middle of 1944, the Japanese had taken over Korea, China, Southeast Asia, Indonesia, Singapore, the Philippines, taking millions of innocent prisoners of war. Through diplomacy, the U.S. warned the Japanese, stop your aggression, release all these countries, get back to your own country. The leaders of Japan were not listening. Beginning in 1945, the United States again warned the Japanese, stop your aggression, release these countries, release these millions of innocent prisoners of war, get back to your own country. We warned the Japanese at that time, if they did not surrender, the United States had some bombs the world has never seen that would destroy their entire country. Unfortunately, the leaders of Japan were not listening. August 6th.
strafing from incoming Japanese planes and bombs from Nakajima B-5N Kate torpedo bombers, which carried armor-piercing shells modified into 800 kilograms or 1,750-pound bombs. At 8:06 a.m., a fatal blow struck the Arizona. The Japanese bomb cut through the deck of the vicinity of gun turret number 2, which would have been about 200 feet to the left of the memorial. Seconds later, it detonated in the loss of life in Arizona accounts for approximately half of all the lives lost during the attack. This includes every member of the founded USS Arizona Band, 23 sets of brothers, and even a father and his son. The mighty Arizona was just over. Two of Arizona's gun turrets were salvaged for later use as coastal defenses. The round rusty object was seized from the water between White and many believe that the ship would continue to thrive in this collapse. The USS Arizona Memorial is 184 feet long and is suspended directly over, but not touching, the wreckage of the USS Arizona. It was completed in 1962 and dedicated on Memorial Day that year. The designer and architect was Alfred Price, who created three main parts: the entry room, assembly room, and shrine room. You'll notice that the memorial has two peaks on it. 1,177 American servicemen who died on board. That is the largest loss of life. Two separate sections display the names of USS Arizona survivors who later chose to be returned to the ship following their passing. Any surviving crew member of the USS Arizona who was assigned to the ship on December 7th can elect to have their ashes placed within